We've done one just this weekend just gone. We raised £336.44 during the day. And also we are also trying to get other activities started up within Brew and Banter, which is very important to get fathers involved in that. Not long ago I couldn't see my own daughter, so it was very hard for me for a short period of time. But with the members of the other Salford Dadz, they were very good. They helped me get back, and they was there, kind, always around. They kept check on me. So that is basically what we are trying to do for the other fathers and the well-being of fathers and their families within this Holton. We've got John Nish, which is a father, very good friend as well. Anthony, like another good mate, always there. And also John Horrocks, which is our engagement worker. They are very brilliant fathers and good friends. So if we can, we want to carry on with the work that we are doing in this Holton to keep it going, getting new dads coming in, and that. I'll pass you over to John.
Good evening. My name's John Horrocks. I'm a father in Little Holton. I've got 3 children, and as Mark said, we help fathers in the Little Holton community, and obviously their children as well. The project, it started off as a project 2 years ago, funded by the NHS and by Unlimited Potential, who are a social enterprise from Salford. Originally, it started off as nothing really. We slowly engaged fathers. I was one of the first fathers, the founding fathers. We've got David over there at the back there. We slowly started recruiting fathers who had shown a lot of potential, but not given a fair crack of the whip, as fathers are quite often ignored, alongside the other issues, like the social aspects of. So basically, the Dads constituted last week. So we're looking for funding for a Brew and Banter where these fathers meet on a week-to-week basis, and it's about working side by side. Some fathers, when you speak face to face, some fathers do like talking, but other fathers don't really engage. So we look at a side-by-side approach, and the Brew and Banter enables to do that. We play snooker, so I listen to the radio, and it is really about improving the well-being of fathers to improve the well-being of the children. And I've personally had an impact on my own children with psoriasis and stuff like that. She's totally disappeared because my confidence improved. Sorry, thank you very much.
Just before I pass it over to the Dragons, then they're looking for £500, which really represents 25 weeks' rent of the Bridgewater Centre. Thank you.
Thanks again for your presentation. Can you tell me what kind of support might have already been provided to you? What kind of funding you might have had access to?
Yeah, so we funded, the Dads originally funded, The Dads originally funded by the NHS, as we said, for the first year. We took some fathers along to the GPs in Warden to tell their stories, including my own story, and that enabled us to secure our second year funding. The NHS and the GPs that back us. We have backing from the health visitors, and the fathers are actually getting. We don't like to call them referrals because we're not a service. It's as Matt said, it is a friend to friend thing. So that the funding, as now the dads are constituted, there is no other funds apart from what they've raised themselves.
I noticed that you said you were Unlimited Potential or something was a group that started it off with you.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're doing some really, really good things. Is somebody monitoring the outcome or looking at what impact it has on you?
So we have Leeds Beckett University actually doing the evaluation. They've been running from the start. So alongside me and the project manager now, we've stepped back and let the fathers take their own role, but we're still feeding back information to Leeds Beckett University. We're having a lady from Edinburgh come down to discover the social return on investment and just how much it is giving back to the community and the fathers themselves. I mean, the impact is massive. If I could spare another hour, I could tell you my story, but that isn't. It's each father's, and if you could put a value on that, you know, it's priceless, really. So.
Yeah, I think we'd all be interested in seeing and promoting how well you've done with it. Yeah.
Thanks very much. I wish we did have those other hours to hear all the stories. That would be brilliant. Thank you. Can I just be clear? I mean, a lot of it sounds to be voluntary and mutual support side by side, and many of us who are fellows know that men are not very good at talking and sharing, so anything you can do to encourage that is brilliant. Is there any paid worker amongst the setup to enable it to happen, or is it all voluntary?
Well, when the project, can I just
Sorry, yeah.
So it started up as a men's wellbeing project. It wasn't called Salford Dadz then. We were able to get the fathers together. They got their own name. We devised a council of dads, 8 members, and they come up with a name and setting up a dads group. So it's all about the fathers. They've decided. The kids have run like the groups and stuff like that. They've decided what they're going to do in the activities. And I forgot your question. Sorry, the paid workers, yeah. So the only paid workers at the minute, sorry about that. The paid workers is me and Heather up until the end of July. But I mean, this has changed my life because it's about 9 months ago. I've been unemployed for 13 years with anxiety and stuff like that. I started as a volunteer. A job come up and I applied. It wasn't easy, you know, but I'd got the job. I'm stood here now talking to so that's the impact, you know. But yeah.
Thanks for sharing that as well. I mean, make yourself vulnerable in that way. Just a last quick question. At the moment, how many dads and kids are you, roughly speaking, supporting?
So we have around 74 children who we're in constant contact with. We don't see them at all because that would be quite a lot. You know, we was at capacity about a month ago at Shore Stars since we did a library visit, and that's seen like 20 fathers, same again, 20 children, which is at capacity. But we've seen about 74 children come and go week by week, not every week, you know, and the fathers themselves around 60. But that's always going up. Just this week, I've had 2 fathers engage with the fathers. So, you know, it's changing people's lives on a daily basis, really.
Thanks very much again, some wonderful work going on. Can I ask, do you get many fathers who come along and drop out, for example, that they sort of can't manage it, or is it
yes, it has been known, and you know, it doesn't suit every father for one reason or another, and sometimes we just lose. We don't lose contact. We try to re-engage them, and it's not for everybody. They might be suffering from severe anxiety, and you know, they come along 1 week and it might just be too much for them. A lot of the times, when I do get referrals from helpers and such like that, we do one-to-ones, which is very important in the early stages, speaking with fathers, because as I said, with anxiety, it's not very easy to go into a room with groups, and sometimes that happens. Dads just come along on their own. They've seen it on Facebook or wherever we advertised it, and you know, it's not going to what they expected. But it does happen. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
The dads that we've got and the dads that we touch by doing what we're doing is bringing purposeful and momentous well-being up front for the new dads that are coming in. The likes of us that are stood in front of you today, if it wasn't for the fact of being introduced into this situation and being brought on board, we wouldn't be standing here being able to talk to you like this. We'd also have that struggle. But because of the confidence that Salford Dadz has brought to most of the dads, we're here being able to do what we do and being able to support new dads and new fathers that are not only just becoming dads for the first time, but dads that are also already dads and may have suffered in some form, either from stress, anxiety, you know, not having contact with children. This is what we're here to promote, and this is why, you know, the need for the Brew and Banter is there.
Thank you very much.